studio now, you're based on a Mac using...
On an old PC G5 Power PC still. I'm going to have to change that pretty shortly if I'm going to move to Logic 9 and UAD2, etc. But running Logic and running Ableton, but I haven't really got my head into Ableton. It's just sort of at a really elementary level. It's just brilliant to map the ideas and just throw loops in there, but that's as far as I've really got with it.
Yeah.
I think I've only completed one track in Ableton, and it was just too much of a head fuck, really. It was just when you could just like dump it all back into Logic and then just breeze through it. Yeah.
So you started using Logic at one of the first versions?
Logic 3 or 4, I think it was. Yeah.
And that's when you flicked over from the Atari.
From the Atari, yeah. Which was probably about 97, 98, I suppose.
Yeah.
I could be well wrong on those time frames, but yeah.
So are you also using a UAD in the studio, or you've got that's on your list of?
No, I've got UAD 1, which again it really, really struggles, and it's mind blowing seeing what UAD 2 offers. But in a way, I kind of know. I just usually use it on the primary elements, just like on drums. And the bass and kick, I'll probably use UAD, but I found plenty of other as equally as good plugins as UAD, which I realised pretty quickly I had to get another EQ because I don't like the Logic EQ much at all. And is it Vox and Go? Like their Gliss EQ, I love that. I rate that much better than the Cambridge in UAD, and I found recently that the T-Rack stuff has really gone up a notch.
Yeah.
And even their Poltec, I reckon, is better than the UAD, and just.
I think there's a lot of companies now that
they've really
less of a marketing budget, but the products that they're actually putting out, like Vox and Go, the stuff that they were doing.
It's great, yeah.
So what you're mixing? I'm just trying to remember. What's your monitors at the moment? You're mixing on.
I blew one of the Mackies, and I still haven't got the other one back. But I'm not heartbroken.
The right channel was sounding sweet. The right channel was sounding sweet.
I tried on. I tried mixing on it for a couple of days, just on one, and it was just like, this isn't going to work. And so, sort of thinking that I'd get the other Mackie back probably. Within a couple of weeks or something. I think it's been about 4 months now. I went and brought the Yamaha HS50. Are they the 50s?
The new white cones?
The white cones, yeah. Are they HS50s? Yeah. And I reckon my mix has improved out of sight overnight. And Dick Johnson said he'd bought them, and he reckoned everything he'd used. Pretty much every track he'd made on them started to sound good on almost every system. And Ian Pooley had recommended them to him and a few other of the German guys that Dick had spoken to.
Yeah.
And so I saw the price and was like, oh my God, that's a bargain. And I'd just go in and buy them now. And because I remember when I bought the Mackies, they were like $5,000 or something. This is going back like 5 or 6 years ago. And to be honest, I hated them. I've never got comfortable with them. In a way, I had come to hate them. So blowing one of them was a blessing. It was, and oddly enough, I read an interview with Calder Van Stroke recently, and he had his doubts about them.
Yeah.
And I'd spoken to Tim Healy from Coburn when he was out here a couple of years ago, and he was a bit so-so on them as well.
Yeah.
And there was a few other people who were like, the Mackies, I'm not sure. Anyway, I don't care if I get that other one back now. It's the least of my worries. So it's almost like I just feel like I'll advertise, one Mackie.
Yeah.
Because I realise why they sell them separately now.
For a mono reference.
Yeah. If someone blows theirs, well, I've got a spare one, but yeah. But I think the Yamahas have been great. I'm sure there's better monitors out there.
Yeah.
But for me, comparatively, it's been brilliant. Hey, the problem with the Mackies I found is there was just too much bass in them. So you'd think you'd have your bottom end right, because it sounded like it was doing the job in the studio, but you'd get into a club and it was just like this real hollow in the lower, sort of in the upper bottom end.
Yep.
And what the Yamahas made me do is I had to make sure I could hear the kick coming through, or you could hear the bass line. And suddenly those elements started appearing where they should have in the club. And I think maybe what's worked for me, working on a smaller monitor, has been a godsend, as opposed to where I can't hear the bottom end and I've got to gauge it with an analyzer now. Yep. But it seems to be right. It's I've kind of worked out on the analyzer where the bottom end needs to sit, and I'm hearing if the kicks that are clicking through in the mix.
Yep.
And it just seems to have done wonders. Whereas with the Yamaha, with the Mackies, the kick would just be pounding, there'd be all this great bottom end, but on some clubs it was just getting absolutely lost.
It was something I had to get used to because I've got a big Jenny sub sitting in the studio, which is great because you've got these absolutely low notes, but nothing else reproduces them, including cars, clubs, all sorts of things. You know, it's just these super low notes that sound great and the whole room's rumbling and everything.
Well, I'm questioning whether I should get the sub to go with the Yamahas, but I'm wondering if that is then just going to put me back to where I was with the Mackies, where, I can hear all that. Yeah. But I think if I do get the sub, it'll just to be a case of just working out exactly where, do I need to shelve at 30 or 40 or wherever, and then just turn the damn thing off. But you couldn't do that with the Mackie. It was always there, always in your face. So
you got like a bedroom studio? Or
yeah, just got a bedroom in the house. It's I got some panels of Kerry and they really worked. I didn't get many. About 5 or 6 off you, but it was incredible how I could really hear the space between the kick and the bass, and I just kind of lined the wall behind the speakers and then a few on the side, and
what brand of panels are they? Or are they ones you
should we make a name up? I guess they'll be All Proof Industries panels.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so they're not like real traps.
No, I've got some foam under the speakers and just made sure I had everything at ear height, and they're not quite at ear height anymore. They're a bit lower.
Did you get taller?
Sorry?
Did you get taller?
Taller? No, the speakers I got a bit lower. Yeah. But that's about it, really.
But we're doing an equivalent of the real traps.
Alright, maybe we should go and guess like some Ben Haas, like Ethan Wayne.
From New Zealand.
So what's the sort of shape of the room?
It's pretty square. It's
It's your typical spear.
It's just like
bedroom,
a
isn't it?
spear, sort of smallish double bedroom, really. Yeah. Don't let any sunlight in. Yeah.
Fades the gear.
It gets incredibly hot in summer, and one day I'm going to get the air conditioning ducted into there.